question, anything that you want to ask, you want to know, you are most welcome.
So this is our opportunity now. We have a Q&A session. So if any one of you would like to ask questions, please raise your hand. I'll bring the mic to you.
Yeah, he has.
You talked about Baalaavadhana. Do you want to learn more about it, or want to have our kids participate, or at least get to know about it? Is there a website or
we have not yet created any website yet, but about Baalaavadhanam, I have a note which we have prepared as a report, because we did this Baalaavadhanam as a part of our Avadhana Sangamam, where we took 35 children in Tirupati. We trained them in 2 days. Like I did and my colleague did one day. I did some activities, my colleague did another set of activities on the second day. And we selected from there 10 children. So they gave a performance in front of audience. Their memories were put into test by the audience, and it was fabulous to see. Yes. So anyone can write to us, and then we will, like if you want your children, see, it has to happen live. It cannot happen online, because we use so many props, so many kinds of activities.
Adding to this, same thing, if we want our children to be a part of it, do you have a timeline that you are thinking of, so it open to everybody world, or at least along with the children in India, for children in India?
Yeah, next summer we are planning to have it anywhere, any organization which is open. So we will make the announcement that this slot is available with us for Baalaavadhanam anywhere. So whichever organization is open to do it in whichever part of the world, we will be doing it. Age group can be like, say, we prefer to 9 to 16 kind of thing. We did with children below also, like 5-6 years, but they were not matching with the others. They were doing a little bigger and they were just sitting. But if that group like 10, 11, 12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, this age group.
I have a two-part. First is an observation, second is a question. So, when you use the word Avadhana, somehow I find it was familiar. His Holiness the GR runs like a shloka class in Massachusetts too, where the children memorize the Vishnu Sahasranam, and then they are given challenges like where they, they say one part of the, any random part of the shloka, and the children try to memorize. So there are many children who have actually memorized the entire Vishnu Sahasranam here locally. So I was thinking where I've heard this term before. So they're also taking the term.
Yes, this is a part of Avadhana practice. Yes, very good.
I've heard of this, and they are, I think, they're native. And the second, my question is, how do we as adults improve our concentration? Because we are also leading such a distracted life. We're getting sensory input from so many different places, and we're not focused on anything. How can we kind of orient ourselves, seek your guidance on that?
So there are various practices that one can adopt, whatever is conducive to. Some people, like find sitting in meditation, sitting in the nature, or studying some text. Of course, this Sahasranama practice or Gita practice. But whatever you practice for memorization, select a text which is full of rhythms. Okay, the music, the rhythmic movement, harmonious rhythmic movement is an aid to memory. You can easily remember. So, say for example, like in the Shodash Adhyaya of Gita, right? You have all the Daivi Sampad, 25 Daivi Sampad. So, if I give you the shlokas, it becomes easy to remember. If I give you a list of all the 25 and then ask you to memorize, I'll say, first verse, second verse. It will be difficult. But if you set it into any rhythmic mode, it becomes easy to remember. Okay, songs. So, select like Gita or Jayadevas Gita Govindam or some shloka, some text which is in poetry, but regularly practice it. And more the rhythm, like you said, Langula, Plishtabiyadam, Buddhimadhyamargam, like very rhythmic verses. So many rhythmic verses which are there, stutis are there, songs are there. So those you select for a daily practice. One. The most practical way of practicing, because many people do not have time to sit in meditation, do any other kind of practice. So I share with what I have been doing for decades. It's a 1 minute silence. You get up, you are going for your office, driving your car. Anything that you do, begin with 1 minute silence. You are sitting for your food, sit in silence for 1 minute. How do you know that? Then you will be busy whether 1 minute happened or not. Because that is what, like someone, actually a Jain master, a group of foreigners came to him. He said, like, Master, we have heard you many times. Now the only question remains to be asked, what is the secret to the Siddhi? How did you attain to this Siddhi? Can you reveal that secret? So he said, yes, why should I hide it? But you should come tomorrow, not today. So next day everyone was excited, they came. So he carried them to deep forest. They didn't know, we have walked so many miles. This fellow is not stopping. And where he is taking, he went to a deep forest. Everyone is tired. But they were curious. He said, okay, now I am going to reveal the secret to my Siddhi. Careful attention. So everyone, he said, the secret to my Siddhi is that when I sit, I sit. When I eat. When I walk, I walk. When I sleep, I sleep. Then one of the person says, yeah, we also do that. He said, no. You have decided when to get up before you sit. Okay. So this is the secret, that we do not give ourselves 100% in what we are doing. So distracted. So 1 minute silence. So how will you do? Now there is a technique which I share with others and it works fabulously. How many times we breathe in a minute? How many times? How many times we breathe in a minute? Now the problem is that before I ask you this question, another question, do you really breathe? Now if I ask this question, people say, yeah. We are not conscious of whether we are breathing or not. We have to check, putting our hand here, we are breathing. To that unconscious, mechanical, robotic life we are leading. Who can give us happiness? Peace, right? So in 1 minute, the normal human being, they breathe 15 to 18 times. So let's fix it 18 times. 18 adhyayas of the Gita, 18 days of Mahabharata, 18 Mahapurana, 18 Upapurana. So let's fix it 18 times, which makes it 1 minute. If it goes a little more also, doesn't matter. So just observe your breath 18 times, that you are breathing in and breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. 18 times. That will just do it for 1 month and then tell me what it does to you. But do it every time you begin anything. You are driving a car, begin. Stop the car, begin. This 1 minute silence. Eating, do the 1 minute silence. But do it 1 minute silence. And then you see what it does to you. Immediately, the moment you start observing your breath, all your thoughts, emotions, everything is under control. But if you simply close your eyes, sit in meditation, hundreds and thousands of things are chaos. Mahabharata is happening here. Now transform that Mahabharata 18 days to 18 times of breathing in and breathing out. And then observe it 1 minute and see it's very effective, very effective. I have suggested it to many organizations, like in our university also. No meeting happens without this 1 minute silence. No meeting ends without 1 minute silence. Classes happen with 1 minute silence. Many organizations, Jaipuriya School, Rishihood University, many individuals, organizations have started practicing it. I bring it through my workshop, through my lectures. So this is what you do. So that's one of the things which can help, definitely, because you need to be focused. It brings back focus. If you want to increase more practice, so I suggest again, instead of repeating so many other things, you also repeat the Varnamala in Samskritam or to her. Add Anuswara to all the vowels, im, add Visarga. So when you say you are more focused, concentrated. Every benefit that you get from Brahmari Pranayama, you get it by reciting Anuswara. Now Visarga, when you see you can feel 2 points. One pressure here, and then you see your breath ending here. There is a Chinese proverb which says people used to breathe till the toe. The more longer your breath, more you live long. How many times the tortoise breathes in a minute? You know the tortoise and rabbit story. Why it is taught to us? The tortoise is the long living animal. Breathes only 3 times a minute. And Khargos breathes more than 40 times. Lives very short. Right? So have control over the breaths. Do practice this. And then Visarga, when you do it, like the Visarga is a very relaxing sound. You get all the benefits of Bahya Kumbhaka by doing the Visarga with all the vowel sounds. You can do that practice. And then you recite some shlokas on a daily basis. There's another practice which is known as Urasya practice. I introduced it to thousands of people during COVID time because everyone was worried about the lungs. And it keeps your lungs in a healthy condition. It does the natural Kapalabhati, Urasya. Many people, you ask, they don't know about what is Urasya. 7 sounds. The sound Ha, when you combine it with Na, Na, Ma, Ya, Ra, La, Va, it becomes Urasya. So like Na, Na, Ma, Ya, Ra, La, Va. They are called Urasya because there's a direct impact of it in the lungs. Uras means chest. Okay. So if you are unable to do it, many people, if you say Hana, so people will say Hana. No, it's not a Hana. It is Hana. Na. Release the breath and then say the sound. Okay. Hana. Na. Ma. If you are unable to practice, then you can practice the words containing those sounds. Brahman, Chihna, Ahlada, Prahlada, Hya, Bahya, Hraswa, Ahvana. Okay, if you practice those words also, the Urasya practice happens and your lungs are in perfect condition. The natural Kapalabhati Kriya takes place. Urasya practice also you can do. Recite Maheshwara Sutra, Ayun Rulu Peyong Ayu Chaivarat Manganam, Japan Gadadas, Jabagadas, Kapachatata Chatatam Kapai, Shashashar Hall. So these 14 sutras you do it.
We do it in every class.
Very good, very good. Every child should be given Maheshwara Sutra. Okay. So there is no end to practices, techniques. Whatever is conducive to your temperament, do that. Don't do anything under pressure. ये होता नहीं फिर भी करना पड़ेगा नहीं होएगा ही नहीं. So do it as is natural. Yes.
So I have a question about, you mentioned that the Avadhana Kala can be used in many different languages or done differently. And I think you've also talked about it being done in Samskritam and the advantage. I mean, so the second part of the question is, why should we learn Samskritam and how does it help with the memory, the concentration, focus, all of that, as well as the Avadhana?
Yeah, okay. So it happens in Telugu and Kannada, or maybe like any other language it can happen. But Samskritam, like for example, Nishidhakshari cannot happen in other languages so easily. Because other languages do not have that kind of, like the number of vocabularies. It facilitates such kind of compositions. You can compose a verse in Sanskrit which read from left to right is about Rama, right to left is about Krishna. There's a Saptasandhana Kavya. Just one verse has 7 layers of meaning. It describes the lives of 7 Tirthankaras. Single verse, but has 7 layers of meanings. Sandhana Kavyas. You have Dvisandhana Kavya, Trisandhana Kavya, Chatusandhana Kavya, Saptasandhana Kavya. Jain Muni has written. So the language, because of its structure, scientific nature, and in number of vocabularies, it facilitates the most difficult type of compositions. That's why many people even prefer to have it in Samskritam, right? The part which you ask, like how does it help in developing memory? I have seen it. Many children suffering from ADHD or autism, speech-related disorders or disabilities. So I use Samskritam for rectification of those. Parents are so happy. Actually, like they write, they are filled in with gratitude. Like it would not have happened without Sanskritam. Just see what happens is a highly rhythmic language. Highly rhythmic language. Every word here you can sing Ramayanam, Mahabharatam. So every word is set into a kind of rhythm. Rhythm is the very soul of Sanskritam. Very melodious language, rhythmic language. So that's what brings, helps developing concentration, memory, and anything that you want to make sustainable. Set it into a rhythmic mold. Without that harmonious rhythmic movement, nothing can be sustained. This was translated into everything that our ancient seers and sages did. We build towers, bridges, buildings, very sky-high buildings. So I went in Florida, in Houston, they showed me 179 or 65 story building. I sent the photograph to my wife. She told me, go to the top floor and talk to God and then tell me what he said. Okay. Is it maybe like God is sitting in high heaven? So this building is reaching there. So we build all these things, sophisticated mind, sophisticated technology, sophisticated ingredients. How advanced we are in science and technology, just imagine. Which was not there, say 50 years before, 100 years before. What is the lifetime of all these buildings? Bridges, monuments, towers, 100 years? Engineers can tell me, civil engineers. What maintenance cost? In what condition 100 years? But our ancient seers and sages have built temples 2000 years old, 1200 years old, zero maintenance cost. They are standing. Do you think that no climate change, no environmental crisis, earthquake, nothing happened in those areas? Everything. They knew the technique, like how they can sustain it. It's all rhythmic. The way everything is aligned, it is aligned with the universe, the cosmic meter, the Vaishwa Chandas, without which no creation will move. So when you align yourself, these small patterns, rhythmic patterns, connect you with the Vaishwa Chanda, cosmic meter. That is how everything becomes sustained. You can have a life of 500 years with that power. So it is introduced to the children right from the beginning. No child will have any kind of speech related disorder or disabilities if the child is speaking Samskritam right from the beginning. If it has taken place also, it can be rectified. You don't need to spend lakhs of rupees paying to the speech pathologists and therapists. They torture children because it's not conducive to the system. Like Indian language, a Marathi boy or girl having some speech defect, unable to speak certain Marathi sounds, but the speech therapists use the IPA model. IPA is that, the pronunciation key that you find in Wikipedia and dictionaries. Every speech pathologist follows the IPA model. But my child's problem is in Marathi or Bangla. IPA model will not work. Parents know, we are taking our child to speech therapist. But what he does is not working here. 3 years we tried, nothing happened. 2.5 lakhs we spent, nothing happened. Bring it to me in 3 months. It is all rectified. No cost. We don't charge. It's just Samskritam. Give them Samskritam, different pattern. Of course, we need to understand what kind of defects, which pattern we need to give. Like, I met a girl who was unable to unable to speak the ka group of sounds. You ask her to say kurkure, you say turture. Say Coca-Cola, she will say tototola. So, this ka group sounds are getting replaced by ta group. Then I observed, I talked to her. Not that she is unable to say any ka group sound, but in a certain condition. So I gave her combination. I changed the process. First ta group, then ka group. I asked her to say utkala. She said utkala. I said utkhata. She said utkhata. So if she is putting pressure under the ta group first, then going back to ka group, it's happening. But independent ka group sound, she has a problem. So this ka group, in the pronunciation of ka group, what happens? The root of the tongue lifts and makes a solid contact with the soft palate. So somewhere there is some kind of looseness where she is unable to do it when independent sound comes. She doesn't get the strength. But if you reverse with the ta group, she has the strength. So I gave her many words like this: utkala, utkhata, udgama, udghatana. Right? Made a list of words. I gave it to her to practice. Then I gave her some shlokas which has got only ka group sounds. See, however great the stammerer may be, singing, no stammering will happen. There are many great singers who are great stammerers also, but they will not stammer during singing. It doesn't happen. So I gave her a verse which has got only ka group sound. Aga gangang ka 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 ha ka ga ga ka 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 aha hang ka ka gang ka ga kang ka ga ka 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 ka. It has only ka group sounds. So she started singing it. So this is how this portion where the strength was needed, it got strengthened. Now she's perfectly fine. So hundreds of such shlokas I have compiled. Now recently Government of India has given us an approval of this project for the first time. So we have appointed 4 interns. So I'm guiding them. Every week I have classes with them. I'm explaining them what is to be done. We are creating a kind of module by which we will rectify all inorganic speech related disorders and disabilities of Indian children speaking an Indian language using Samskritam.
is still current time? So what is something different day-to-day practices?
Yeah, so they have their own discipline of, first meditation, then there are a lot of practices. So for example, there are texts also, Jaina texts, ancient texts like Nandi Sutra and other texts. So there is a process of mind development, like in Buddhism and Jainism, for the development of mind, there are various kinds of activities. Okay, so small children, when they go for, become the munis, they have to be taken from the early childhood. So they, say for example, in a Baalaavadhana also, like we do the similar kind of practice. So there is this, they call it as, say, Alpa Vidha, Bahu Vidha, Kshipra, Akshipra, Alpa, Bahu. Okay, Nishchita, Anishchita, this kind of practices they do. Suppose, say, here is a room filled with various objects. Children are allowed here, given 5 minutes time, that observe all the objects which are there. Then they are taken out, then ask how many objects you observed are there in the thing. Okay, so there are, children who will not be able to say more than 5, 10. There are children who will tell all the objects which are there. How fast he was saying, Kshipra, Akshipra, how decisively he was saying. Okay, so mainly the power of observation. All that grasping happens through the senses. If the senses are not perfected and educated and refined, so they give a lot of stress on the sense development in the beginning and increase their power of observation. Today it is so, low observation power that you ask your child, which color dress your ma'am had today? Oh, I don't know, red, something like red maybe. Just few hours before he saw, but unable to observe. Same happens to the adults also. We do not observe. Can you identify the footprints of the animals and insects? If I show you. Can you differentiate between dogs and cats, duck and cock, and the peacock? You can? Very good. Okay. How does the footprint of a camel look like? So, you have lines below the separation? No. It's the only animal which has a rounded hoof without the, without the split. Because they, how does it help? Now listen to this story. This is what is our education system. So since this camel issue came, let me tell you the story of a camel. A baby camel asks the mother camel, Mom, I want to ask you a few questions. Can I? Yes. Why do we have this big horns? He said, yeah, simple. We are desert animals. This serves as a water storage because the water is stored there. Oh, I understand now. It's a water storage system. It helps us having water in the desert. Good, Mom. Thank you. Can I ask the second one? He said, yes. Why do we have thick eyelashes? He said, it's for the same reason that we are desert animals. Most of the time storms come, so it protects our eyes from the sands entering into it. Wow, I never understood all these things. Thank you, Mom. So now I'm clear. Last question, Mom. Yes. Why do we have rounded hooves without split? So it's for the same reason. If we have split, then we cannot walk on the sand in the desert because sands will get filled in with that. That's why we have rounded hooves. Oh yes, it is so logical, na, Mom. This helps us walking on the sand. Can I tell you something, Mom? I said, yeah. He said, we have thick eyelashes which protects us in the desert, the sands entering into the eyes. We have big horns, water storage. We have rounded hooves which help us walking on the desert. I don't understand what the hell are we doing in the zoo. This is what is our education system. We have all the beautiful faculties. We are in the zoo, not of any use. Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions?
Okay.
Namaste, Mahoday. I'm just making an observation. Your efforts in bringing Avadhana to this diverse audience, because I've grown up seeing Avadhanas live, and I know an Avadhani in California area who learned Avadhanam here and performed Honorable Guru featuring him.
Okay.
You might meet him if you happen to go there. He's done in Samskritam and Telugu. But your efforts in bringing this to a diverse audience is really appreciated. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Such a wonderful presentation. I just had one question. Maybe it is a little repetition, but I was wondering if you have or you will be coming up with some sort of structured programs for different audiences, or it's in planning, or how far are we at this point, and what would be the kind of like, what are we looking at? 3 days or 10 days or like something of that sort?
See,
like learning this art of concentration for different people.
So my whole concern is children.
Right.
Okay. So that's why the Baalaavadhana focuses only on the children training. Adults can be trained, but no, right. We can have some awareness program about that or certain practices, but the children, the work can be done very easily through the children. And with the parents also sit in the class and observe and do the same activities with the children. So we involve the parents in the training program, so then they can help their children doing these activities at home. So we ask them that the children at home, you must tell them to differentiate between pudina and dhania. They should be able to differentiate between haldi and ginger. Okay. Most children have lost their sense because of the junk food. One taste. Whether the sabji has namak or no, they will not be able to tell you. But we have so many different spices. Smell also, like tulsi and pudina. They have different smell. So taste, smell, hearing, all these things you need to train. I had trained my daughter, but we were in trouble also at some time. So sharp it became her ear. She'll be sleeping or we are talking, auntie, I think, dropped a ceramic cup. Somewhere the water tap is open. She used to say that, yeah, and we go and find out somewhere the water tap is open. It's dripping water. Very sharp in doing that. The children can do that. They accurately tell you. The Sabda Vedi, like what happened to Sravana Kumar. It's like that. So you help children doing all this. Ask them to smell, taste. This is how we help them refine their senses. Accuracy comes. So we invite the parents along with children. They can sit, they can do the same activities. That also will help the adults, the children. But our focus is children. We will have a 2 to 3 days of program. Not many hours, but 2 to 3 hours a day. Continuously, we can do it in the same day. Like in the same day, we can do 3-4 batches differently. Because the children cannot sit for a long time. However great, interesting the exercises may be, you cannot hold the children for a long time. So we maximum 2.5 to 3 hours, we retain them for 3 days. Then these 3 days of training, and then we tell the parents, give them the literature, explain them what props you can use, where to get those props, and then you continue. Parents should continue with the children. The first gurus are parents. Teachers in the school are extended parents. They also have to do work there, you also have to do the work there. And if the child is getting the right education at home, no wrong education system can divert your child. Please remember. All those who complain that, oh, now see what the education system is, how the children, blame yourself. No? What kind of education you have given to the children at home? मुझे कोई नहीं बिगाड़ पाया, मेरी बेटी को कोई नहीं बिगाड़ पाया. Why? We are strongly rooted at the family. So every person has to take care in the family. This is the first Gurukul at home.
So is Avadhana Kala is not possible for even younger children?
No, it's possible. It's possible. So you ask them to recite shlokas.
That's a good
Okay, sit, observe nature, expose them to the nature. Ask them, to collect flowers. As children in the village, most of the village children, the children of a certain age, they are allowed just what is the activity given? Family responsibility? Plucking flowers for the puja room. That's how you bring them in contact with the nature. The different patterns in the nature. Let them observe. Nowadays, the people don't know what is rain, sun, winter, this, that, nothing. One size fits all. One environment. Live in AC room, car in AC, school is in AC. We are fully conditioned by the air. Air conditioned. Okay. So in this conditioned environment, we really don't become sensitive to many things. The senses do not grow. That's why the Gurukula education used to happen in the nature. In the nature. So expose them to nature, give them Samskritam right from the childhood. Give them to do some shlokas, certain words. Take them to swimming. There are various activities you can do with them, with small children. I'll share with you like some of the activities which I did with my child. So I had different sizes of bottles, thick neck, thin neck. It's a very interesting activity. You put a spoon, bowl where you have water. Ask them to fill the bottle. It demands a lot of concentration. And if it is thin neck, they will struggle to do it. And if they are doing anything, suppose in mobile, you don't tell them to do it. You start doing it. They will come. Now, what's interesting is happening here? They will forget. Divert them. Don't force the children. Divert them with something interesting where they will get attracted. Give them that. Okay. So playing the various kinds of activities which you can do at home. And nowadays, plenty of such activities which are available on the internet. You can learn from those videos and then do it. A lot of activity. But children should be engaged with innovative, very creative activities. Drawing, mandala works, painting, any kind of creative activity. Dance, music, swimming, kalaripayaru, martial arts. Everything will help. And you can express even small children to us.